Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to discuss a topic about public performances, public speeches, presentation and other things which we do on public to other people. Usually when I'm saying people that I like to have some public speeches, presentation and just talk to other people, they started to think that this is a joke, but no. I really like to have some presentation and present my some researches or just myself. I really like to explain my thoughts to other people in some meetings. And today I want to discuss some key points why it happened with me, because it was not always like that. Okay guys, let's start from the beginning. And I want to start from my school period of time, and I was a really shy person. And my mom still tells me the story how my grandma was worried about me, that I'm so shy and I can't protect myself. And as you can understand from this situation, for me it was really difficult to come into some public. Also in school was something like presentation in which you was need to have some participation. But for me it was really hard to go to the desk and explain something to other people. I was really confused and I feel always stressed. And for me it was easier to explain my mom and find some reason why I don't want to go to school, when to come to school and present something in front of this. Nevertheless, I need to mention that during my whole life I systematically had some experience to performance on the stage. But for me always was separation between have performance in front of people who I know and not. And it was two different situations. But usually in this age, my public performances was concerning dances. And for me it was much more easier, because people who was sitting in front of me, they was people who I didn't know at all. That's why for me was just no reason to worry what these people will think about, because I will never see them again. And from this situation, sometimes after, I understood that, okay, usually sometimes we go into the street and we worry what other people will think about me. But guys, these people you see first and last time in your life. Let's back to the school. We had here something completely different, because in the school was people with who I contact each day 5 times per week, sometimes more. This was another situation where your actions may affect on how you look in their eyes. In my case, I started feel more freedom in public speeches in my class only in 11th grade. It was because of it was my last year in school, and I was like, okay, I see this guy like last time in my life, and for me it was like, okay, I don't care. So guys, let's stop to talking about school. I will back to this topic in one of next chapter, but now it's end of this topic. Let's move to the another. My another chapter of becoming more confident in some speeches was language courses, and there we each class had some practice about speaking. And of course it had influence on my confidence. And guys, believe me, if you each day trying to explain your thoughts to some other people, you will become much more confident, because usually you're scared to sound a little bit not professional, not clear, but that's the case. We can say that practice make perfect. And for example, me, I can say that I'm perfect in the English, no, 100% no. But each day I'm shooting some video on Instagram, on YouTube, and I am trying to make my speech more clear, more understandable. I believe you understand me. If not, sorry. And from this chapter, I want to say you, if you want to have some confident performances in your life, you need to have practice, because practice makes perfect, and this is the case. If you don't have practice in any aspect of your life, you never become at least intermediate in this sphere. Moving to the next part of this video, and this part is about my university life. In my 18 years old, I moved to the other country where I live without my parents, alone, and I'm studying university. and not only study in university, but I also have my adult life where I need to decide my problems by myself. I will separate this part into two zones. First zone, university. Second zone is living in different country. Talking about my university, in my university I study architecture, and usually our educational process consists of consultation, when you usually week by week need to present your project and explain what you develop. You just need to sell your project, your professor, to say that this is not bullshit, this is so brilliant idea. And when you have, for example, 4 projects per week, so 4 times per week you need to sell your project. If you're training at least, I don't know, 5 times per week to sell your bullshit idea, you become professional in speeches. Okay, and what about adult and independent life? When I moved to the Poland, I faced this situation that I need to speak in some groceries, banks, I don't know, some government organization and other places. But I came here to study architecture in English, and that's the case that I don't know Polish. I was need to go to the groceries, to banks and decide my problems. But there is the case that after some weeks to living in different country, you started to feel confused when you need to speak somewhere, and for you become uncomfortable to speak in English in country where they have different language. So for me it was just uncomfortable to come to people and started to discuss something with them in English. I started to try to translate some sentences, words, before I was going to some place where I was need to discuss this. And my biggest improvement in the language became on previous year when I started to do my residence permit, because I was need to have a lot of appointments in government organization where usually people don't know English at all. And because of my low level of Polish, I was need to create some structural dialogue, translate this, learn it sometimes and go to some organization. And also it gives me some understanding of how to be more structural during your presentation and speeches. And the part on which I want to finish, I want to back to the school. A few days ago I saw some video where a guy said that in few years you will understand that nobody cares. And that's true, because all my period of time when I was at school, I was dreaming to shooting some videos on YouTube, on Instagram, but I was always scared that, oh, if my classmates would judge me or they will laugh on me. And I didn't start to do it. No, I did it, but it was few times some uncomfortable and not so confident movements. And now when I'm trying to grow my social media platforms, I'm trying to have content on regular base. I already knew that some of people who was in my previous life with who I don't have much contact now, they found my page on Instagram, on TikTok or YouTube, and I never get some bad comments from them. But when I was at school, I was scared about what they will think about it. And actually it sounds pity, I just lose my time because I was scared. So guys, that's my final point which I want to put. Don't be scared because nobody cares. Have some improvisation. Just live this life. And also sell your projects which looks like bullshit. Okay guys, see you in the next video and bye.